computer, but some of us want to do this thing, do it once, but you see, it has to be a continuous. You test, you learn, you refine, you go back. You test, you learn, you refine. I think Tecno is the first phone company that designed smartphones for Africa. The first smartphones didn't have a radio that could work without earphones. Now, someone noticed. People here put their phone there, then they go and wash dishes. If they wash dishes with them, it will fall in water. Abroad, people don't wash dishes, they have dishwashers. So there is no risk of falling in water. Context. Are we together? So Tecno realizing, these people use phones on their torches on their phone. So they added a torch. This people need a stronger lasting battery. They made the battery stronger. Then this people need to be able to listen to radio. So it had FM radio. When you look at some of the phones in other markets, they don't have FM radio. You have to add it as an app. It's not a mistake. It's a design function. It was very intentional. So then we also need to align desirability, feasibility, and viability, right? You want a phone whose battery is amazing, but at the same time, it connects to the internet all the entire day. Then you also listen to music and you also watch some YouTube. Is that possible? So they'll give you a phone that without internet can last 24 hours. Without playing videos and running very many apps, it can last 16. So when we are designing these things, depending on who you're designing it for, find a balance. Because if you just do functionality, I want a phone that never breaks their screen. Because my phone screens, but you see, it will be bulky. And I can't put it at the back of my what? So what do? I look for a brand that has a relatively resilient screen. So that's why I moved away from Samsung. Because it falls once and you need to cough up $200. But this Motorola will fall like 5 times before it starts complaining. So these are some of the things you have to think. You see, we are designing a phone, but Bonita needs a special phone because of her screen handling abilities. That's why I go back to start with empathy. It's not about you, so stay curious. When these people are using, what is their response? Who has ever watched kids when the CoComelon thing comes on? Whether it's on TV or who has ever observed them? What happens? Behavior. Are we together? CoComelon created this thing that when a child's brain perceives it, it is colors, movements, and excitement. So whether they are seeing TV or not, the minute it comes on, if they are doing something, they will get up and look. So these are some of the things we need to pick up with our designs as well. Fall in love with a problem. Isn't this the 10th time I'm saying that? Because it's extremely important. So what does this HCD process look like? Number one, inspiration. So, yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
You've spoken about falling in love. How do you deal with a circumstance where you have fallen in love with a problem and you realize that it's not a problem? You realize you've been falling in love with something that does not a problem, that is not a pain.
It's not a pain.
Yeah, but you've been falling in love.
Okay. So good thing you are a man. Have you dated only one girl since?
Yes.
Does that kind of answer your question?
Please note that you're not the lecturer. Who talks to the lecturer?
So here's what I'm trying to say. You see this fine girl. Huh? Now when she walks, and you're like, banana hair. You even start picturing your children. Then you talk to her. And you find her. She can't even hold a conversation. Then you're like, okay, you take her to your friends. And she shows up, she's not talking to people, she's rude to waiters. And you're like, maybe she's not good with people. Then, okay, let's try to go out alone. And there are all these things you're picking up. Eh? You're like, oh man, sick of color. Let us look elsewhere. So it's the same thing. See, the thing is, when you find this one girl that you really like, you want to know their favorite color. You want to know what flowers they like when they're happy, what flowers they like when they're sick, what cake, what ice cream. You want to know all these small, what's, like, if you were to surprise them. You've seen these people who do proposals, and they stop traffic, or they're in a restaurant, and the girl says no, or disappears. Who thinks the problem is there? No. First, you did take time to understand if this girl even wants a public proposal. Sometimes they really like you, but they don't like the mutara that comes with public proposals. So you lose out on that because you didn't take time to be curious and understand this person. Some people like proposals when it's just the two of you. And then some will go and propose to a girl when it's just the two of them and the girl wanted balloons. And he will be reminded for the entire time they are married how she didn't get a proper proposal. So, if you find a problem, do you know why we are going out? What normally happens is women see policies that are designed. You're telling primary kids to have food flasks. Is that a human-centered design approach? You're telling Ugandan parents not to put kids on border borders. Have you seen how many adults travel on border borders? That even some people park their cars and jump on borders to get to the nearest place. So human-centered design would be, how do we ensure safe travel of kids on border borders during rush hours? That is in the morning when they're going to school and in the evening when they're coming back. Am I starting to make sense? So the problem is, number one, you're not going to wake up and take away border borders. You see, very good one. You see, we are designing roads. We have a lot of border borders in this country. Show me a road that has a border lane. When you go to Europe, where people have lots of bikes, don't we have bike lanes? Are we starting to get this thing? So, if you're falling in love with a problem, imagine you're falling in love with this girl and she's everything you can ever take your mother to. Are we together? You like this girl, but you're sure you can never show her with your friends, to your friends. You can never show her to your friends, you can never show her to your parents. But, so eventually you're like, man, I can't be with someone I'm going to be hiding, so you find another girl. They may not be exactly, but something. So what we are going to do is we are going to go out, speak to users. That's why I called it validate. Remember my first slide? It was validate. What are we going out to do? Validate, right? We are going out to validate because, number one, we want to empathize. We want to get inspired by our users. We want to understand the people. AgriFly, who are you designing for when you are designing AgriFly?
Farmers with flowers.
Farmers?
That grow flowers.
Farmers that grow flowers. So now, when we go out, you're going to go to those farmers. Any flowers? If I grow 1, 2 roses in my home?
No.
Which ones?
People that are in smart farming and they are basically doing it for horticulture.
For horticulture. Smart farming. I could be using an irrigator in my compound. Do I qualify to be a smart farmer?
Some
So now, part of the things we are going to do is you need to be able to describe in detail, right? I'm looking at farmers who are growing flowers on at least half an acre and the output at least, what do you call the output? Do you output in tons, in kilos, the number of stems?
It depends on the farmer's perspective of what they are growing. Whether they want it internationally, locally. So basically it's about the farmer.
The farmer. So my output, like you see, if I'm a maize grower, at the end when I harvest, I have these many tons of maize. For you as a flower farmer, what do you have? How do you quantify?
It still the farmer that has to tell us that I get this and this out of this.
Can you say, you see that this and this? That's exactly what I want. Is it kilograms of are flowers measured in kilograms? Are they measured? Now you see. So these are the things you need to go out and proper understand. Are we together? Because now you don't know if we are looking at tons, if we are looking at kilograms, if we measure in weight, if we measure in color. Are we together? So now we are going back to understand those things in what? In detail, right? Then some of these things you are going to do research, you could look online, but then some you are going to observe. So I expect the dust, temperature and dust system, you have to go and see who are you targeting, who are you designing for?
Coffee farmers.
Which ones?
Coffee farmers and warehouses.
Which coffee farmers? Define commercial coffee farmers.
The ones who are ready to export and make about the
Export at what stage of the value chain?
probably
Is it green beans? Are they green beans? Is it cassé? Is it processed? Are we together? So when you tell me coffee farmers, you can tell me is are you looking at individual? Are you looking at cooperatives? Are you looking at women groups? Are we together? So when you say coffee farmers, I would expect something like, I am targeting coffee farmers in the eastern region who are growing for the European market. Because I can imagine the standard for the European market might be different from the US market. Is that right? So you need to get it to that detail. Because when you say coffee farmers, I could have some coffee in my matoke on half an acre. Can you refute that sina mwanyizani? So when you come and you're at an exhibition and you're saying, we are targeting coffee farmers, I'm also going to come to you. Will I be wrong? But if you say we are targeting coffee farmers who have an output of at least a ton on an annual basis, are we together? Then you understand, then you're not just looking at our problems as coffee farmers. Because as women groups of coffee farmers, we have different problems. We grow our things and then the husband takes all our money. So we don't bring the money home. We leave it in the chilina and then husband beats us. So you see what I'm trying to say? Get to the depth. Who is it exactly you're solving for? Yes, coffee farmers, rural areas, peri-urban or urban areas. Those who are growing commercial farmers, us who sell to the final consumer or us who sell to the broker. If we are exporting, what are we exporting? Are we exporting green bean? Are we exporting the one where the kakuta is off? Are we exporting dry? Are we exporting Arabica? Are we exporting Robusta? Are we exporting, what are those? Dark roast? Semi-dark roast? What is the other one? Sorry, I'm not a tea coffee taker. But are you trying to understand what I'm saying? Is get to that tiny detail. Because if you miss something, if you're targeting, I will speak to, if you're targeting women farmers, women coffee farmers, usually they'll grow in what? In groups. So for you're saying we're looking for 1 acre. Me as Bonita, I don't have an acre, but with Adikini, with Lillian, with Gustavus, we have a what? An acre. So are we together? We want to understand it to that detail, then we ideate. So what is going to happen after this week? We are going to go out, collect all those insights, then we come back next week and put all those insights together, make them make sense. Then we design. So what we are going to do is we are going to turn insights into ideas, right? Then remember we have our assumptions that we use to develop our prototypes. Then we are going to test this against the assumptions we had. Now this is where hearts are going to break. This is me marinating you, preparing you for heartbreak. Because you're going to find that these insights, the idea eventually come up with, sometimes needs your prototype to be cheaper. to be maybe more bulky or not more bulky, to be resilient, because sometimes you're imagining, if I'm going to self-gym, who are you designing for?
Anyone who wants to stay healthy.
Wow. For anyone. What do you mean anyone? You hear me? Anyone. Number one, you cannot design for anyone. You see, not even Microsoft, not even Apple, with all the resources they have, can design for everyone. Are we together? So, I want you to understand. Are you designing for a bonita who feels like gym is punishment? I came with these two. I just want to show you something here. Yesterday we were having a conversation with Gustavus. So I love watches. Gustavus, can I please borrow your watch? Thank you. So you see there's this watch. I'm going to call this watch here. Then I'm going to call this watch B. Then I'm going to call this watch C. Are we together? So they are all watches, right? Then there are also the fancy ones with the chain straps, watches. But I'm going to just focus on this piece. So these are all watches. Do you think these people designed for anyone? These are 3 different segments. Are we together? So there is Gustavus, who needs a bigger screen because he needs to probably read some of his messages, pick his calls and stuff. This is user 1. They are all into fitness. Actually, this is a very good thing because all these are fitness watches, low-key. Then there is a one bonita who wants to just track her steps. She has a phone, that's enough to pick her call. She doesn't want 100. So, but she also wants something small because she also puts on her bracelet. She doesn't want her hand to feel bulky. Then the same bonita swims. And she still wants her watch on so she can know how much time she spends in that pool. Are we together? It's all fitness. So you understand why we can't design for anyone? So you need to understand that I'm designing for a male of this age range who is looking to track his steps while also able to receive his phone calls on the comfort of his hands. Or I'm designing for someone who wants something that can track their steps, but also feel not so bulky on their hand. Or I'm designing, so there are times when I want to not be digital at all, that's when I normally do this. So it's still a watch, but I don't want mania. You know those googlings, what? It still tells time, text tells time, but it's very hard for this thing to break unless I cut it. It's very hard. The most I'll ever do to repair this watch is change the what? The battery. You get? So if I'm going out in the field, chances are very low I'm going to take this. Because this I need to charge. And now there are also smartphones. Now you see this is a Huawei. The way they designed it is when you're going to charge, you just plug into the same thing, you use your charger. You see the same thing, you use your phone to charge. That's how they made it. So here, I can't have Mbumanya. Why I prefer it to other smartwatches, I don't have to carry a charger. I just need my phone charger and that's it. So you see all these small nuances? You see why it's important for you to understand what are their behaviors. When it has behaviors, she easily forgets her charger. So, can you design something where she has one charger for her phone, for her tablet, but you can also charge her phone? Are we together? What are Bonita's behaviors? She forgets to charge. What is something that is equally good, comfortable, but can still show her time? And it's water resistant in case she forgets to take it off when she's going swimming. So when I say we need to understand, are we starting to get to the depth to which we need to go? So now, when we come back next week, you're going to speak to people. And then you'll find that most of the people that were excited by your app were the Bonitas of this world. Then you profile Bonita. Who is Bonita? A mother of 2, between 25 to 40, you know, that kind of thing, has this kind of life. Because if you're designing something, it tells you to wake up or to stand up every 30 minutes. You are a lecturer, you're in class for 6 hours of your lifetime. How is that relevant to you? People, are we getting this? So, then we go and implement. So we test and refine. We test ideas with real users. Not your friend in that dog, because you're my friend and tomorrow I might want to borrow your shoe. I think you're gonna oh, you'll even go and beat up. Are we together? Okay, so now we are going to move from empathy to definition. So we have been going through the process of this is what human-centered design is, this is what is important. Now, when we say empathy, I want us to get deep down. What is empathy, right? What are the hidden needs and motivations? Are we together? When you're speaking to a farmer, what are their hidden needs? You see the guys that design school pay. School pay. Those of us who are quite old, we used to use bank slips. I went to Uganda Road, we used to go to Bank of Baroda. And the way it has, I only know one branch of Bank of Baroda on Kampala Road. Does anyone know another one? So, when you're about to go to school, all of the parents of Buganda didn't know how Buganda was. We had over 11 streams. Each stream had over 80 students. So back to school, you'll be that cute. Now you feel like 5 bank slips if you have 5 kids. You get. Then school was like, parents, number one, they have to go to work. They are looking for the money. Why are you making them suffer to also come and queue? Then bank slips would lose those things. They'll give you the circular and the bank slip, then towards that, the beginning of they're asking you, where is your circular? No, I don't remember where you put it. So you see, those are hidden needs. We don't need bank slips. Also feeding, those good things they used to be for. Feeding, if you have 5 kids, those are 25 slips. Are we together? So there are those hidden needs and motivations. Now, they just give you, they call it school pay number. I have it, so I can pay. If I decide that every month I'll be depositing, I can do that. If I say now let me deposit core half. So there are some of those things. The problem was, now here the problem is not school fees. The problem was convenience of paying for school. What problem do you think mobile money solved? Transfer of money secured. Can't I do that with my bank account? No, I can move from one bank account to another on my phone. Very convenient. I can also do the same. If it's only, I think, RTGS that is time bound, but I can do an EFT.
I think mobile money was solving the issue of having your money in cash and then transacting it at any time.
I want another one.
It helps to know the bank.
Remember hidden needs and motivations? Are we together? Simplicity, convenience, being able to transact as and when I want, not having to go to the village to take Christmas money for mommy. Hidden needs and motivations. People don't think it's a problem because actually back then you would ask someone, say, but you say I get a chance. Mommy, when I'm taking money for mommy on Christmas, I get a chance to see her. But that's the best use of your time. What happens if mommy is sick? Are we together? So that's your assignment. Go and find out what actual problem mobile money was solving and for who. We get to. For some people, it's the need to have their cash. You're a business person, or you run, let me say you run a transport company. At any one time, your driver is going to call you and say they are out of fuel. With mobile money, you can easily send them that fuel money without having to look for an agent. You get that kind of thing? So, mobile money solves different problems for different people. For businessmen, for customers who go to a shop, MomoPay is easier. You get. For people who use Safe Border, cashless is easier. So you will find that one problem could solve one solution could solve different problems for different users. And you see when mobile money was said, at first it was for everyone, then they created for businesses. How we came up with MomoPay. They kept on, remember what we said are continuous? Okay, so we get to problem definition. Clarify what truly, in all honesty, needs to be solved. Adikini, what do you think needs to be solved for when it comes to fitness? What is the actual problem? Getting those diseases. What about us who have genetic heart issues? What about us who actually work out, but after working out we go to Charlie? Have some sticks and some beer. I said it hurt me a little. You did? Yes. Yes, you had your hand up.
One of the things can solve terms of sickness is discipline.
So you see, one of the problems is discipline. So that means when you're designing, you're not designing for fitness. You're designing for discipline when it comes to fitness. Are we together, guys? You're designing for discipline. So you need to understand, when I said what truly needs to be resolved, is it when you speak about diseases, that's general. Some of these diseases we get them, they are genetic. Some we pick them up because of our lifestyle, which could include food. So now when you say it's only fitness, we've seen people who work out that die of heart attacks because they took 7 Red Bulls and 1 skin. Because they smoke and drink. So are we together? You need to understand then you're turning insights. Please note, I'm not saying you're turning your solutions. You're turning insights into clear, evidence-backed problem statements. So the goal of these sessions today and next week will be a clear, evidence-backed problem statement. I am sure if you looked at Safaricom's problem statement, it's not the same as Vodafone. It may not be the same as MTN, and they're all telecom companies. We have Leica. What problem do you think Leica came to solve in this market? Define it here. For who? Students, learners, you get developers. So Leica came into the market, and so there is the ATMs, Gonya, it's the data, there is the Airtels where the data just It's like there are these student communities who are called in and they can't afford 30,000 for 5 GB. But you know they can get 2 GB at 2,000 for 6 hours or 24 hours. So they were targeting, they were very specific. I am sure whoever did that market research came and even asked students, how much would you be comfortable spending on the internet on a daily, on a monthly? Then they broke it down. Don't think that those packages just come up. No, people actually do go and do proper market research. Vodafone, those of you who are quite old, who saw Vodafone in Uganda? Let's see your age. So when Vodafone came, they were strictly internet. They didn't have calling. Then there's also Africell. I think Africell was also strictly internet. No, Orange. See? Who saw Orange in Uganda? Is that, you know? Yes. So you understand. Just look at all these browsers, right? We have Firefox, we have Opera, we have Chrome, we have what browser do you use on your computer? Lillian. Quiet.
Like when you said the place that's specifically stuff to like shift your what you're searching for to something else. And also maybe perplexity.
Perplexity. Why do you use Perplexity?
It's straightforward.
People, are you hearing? It is straightforward. So no matter how cool your tool is, but it's not straightforward, then you'll be like, let me go back to Perplexity. Okay? So we are going to turn these insights into that. Now, after this slide, we are actually going to start working, right? So now, on our journey to creating an evidence-backed problem statement, we are going to start with identifying a problem persona. See all these questions I was asking you? It is important you understand your persona. Are we together? And then a problem statement. So, what is a persona? The real person that faces that problem. So you mentioned that, let me remember your name, George. You mentioned that Leica was designed for people like you. So we are going to understand who is George. George is a student. Is George a student or an alumni? Alumni. What is George currently doing? Software development. Employed or not, or consulting or freelance? Employed. But George sometimes carries work home. At work he has Wi-Fi, but he carries work home. Do you have kids? What else do you use your internet for at home? Movies. Are we together? You see how we are creating this persona? George is an adult male between the age 25 to 40 who works as a software developer. He mostly uses the work Wi-Fi, but when he gets home, he needs to use his internet and also watch and stream movies and music. So when he's choosing an internet service provider, there are things he looks at: affordability, then the ability to streamline stuff. So speeds are important. Are we getting to understand these things, right? So you look at the real person. In this case, a real person is George. His goals is to be able to stream uninterrupted. His frustration is watching a movie and then you have to wait for it as it bumps. Right? He's watching his nice movie, music video, vibe, and then it hangs. Then the environment is home. His needs at work are different from home. Are we together? At work, does he have need for Leica? Here at UICT, does he have need for Leica? But at home, he has need for Leica. You see, before COVID, I think we only had Zuku and Ro, who had home fiber. MTN, if you had to be a company, an office, I think their cheapest was what, 380? Their cheapest subscription. Then COVID came, and people were no longer going to what? To office. So they had to think of a product that people can use at home. So they first came up with WorkerNet, where they give you routers and MiFi. People, are we getting to this? It's all internet. The speeds you give to one office, where, like the speeds we have here are not the speeds you have at home. At any one time, 200 people can connect to this network. Do you think your worker fiber, Savannah is what, 72? Then I think in the low level, 69, 72, then we have 130. Do you think that network can hold 200 people? You just have 20 guests, and you can no longer stream on your TV. Environment, are we together? I hope these things are making sense. So as we speak about these things, start thinking about whatever it is you're working on. Are we together? Think about what are the goals. Where do these people use that? You see your dust monitor. You said warehouse. Shared, where there is a harder next to the warehouse that blows dust, that you much money. Is it here or in industrial area? 1 minute.
We're majorly looking at those harvest places that come in with the coffee storage.
Which storage?
The warehouse.
Which warehouses?
Coffee warehouses.
In rural settings, because I know some people who put their coffee under the bed. Then the boy wakes up in the morning and takes it out to dry.
That's why I made the talks about the commercial entities that usually have in such areas.
Commercial entities in Kampala, in deep in the village where it's collected before it's picked up by the brokers or at the district level. You get it? Because I could have my garage as my warehouse. Can you come and say it's not my warehouse? No, I keep my 100 bags of coffee there. And then when I get that time, after all of it is dry, I take it to remove the kaputa to heat acid. So you need to understand these people in the warehouse, where are most of these warehouses located? Right? Because if it's located next to, there's the chuma, it's constantly here, and then the warehouse is here, would your solution work for that warehouse? Is it stored for next, is it at what point? Is it at the point of just post-harvest or while I look for market?
Yeah, something like that.
It doesn't have to be something like that. Because then you're not sure. You have to be able to say that we are looking at the problem is dust. How is dust a problem for coffee?
Like basically the best ending for predictive things. Because we looked at warehouses and that police that I know given like that location, you only go there when you get to pick something from it. But then we're looking at how about these places being clean. Like the more the dust accumulates, the more the days it used to be like maybe 4 days to cleaning, and then it shows you the period of time, maybe 2 weeks to cleaning and that.
How is
So we're
dust?
majorly looking at temperature and humidity, that these are the factors that literally come in with the improvements and all that.
Okay.
So it's a joint thing.
So now the actual problem, you see when you are explaining, you must be talking about your solution. Because it monitors when you need to clean. Guys, are we together?
Yes.
You are talking about you see, for users, you don't care about your solution. You care about ourselves. If I shipped my coffee and they talk aflatoxins, do we all know aflatoxins? So you know when people keep about maize that is not very dry, you've eaten kosho that is sour-ish. Usually those are aflatoxins, high levels of what? Aflatoxins. So if you say, if my problem is, I tried to export my coffee to the US, and the flavor wasn't hitting this flavor profile because of dust and humidity and mold and toxin builds, then when you say whatever you're saying, I will listen. But if my coffee, I've been exporting coffee for the last 10 years, and dust, no one has refused my coffee because of dust. Are we together? So now we are going back. I want you to be able to talk to me about the problem with nowhere hinting on your solution. My people, are we together? Facial recognition. What is the problem you're solving? Car theft. I want you to be that. You're solving car theft. For who? Me, who has a car in my compound, me in jam, me who went into a bank and came out when it was taken, me who runs a car bond, me who runs a car parking. Who?
Those who live in the cars alongside the road,
So your solution refuses my car to move, or it just screams when it's being taken? Okay, what is my actual problem as a car owner who parks my car to the roadside? When I've gone to the back, I'm going to spend like what, 5, 6, 7 hours in the bar. What is my actual problem?
The problem is to avoid theft and people to interact with your property. Your
But I've been parking my car to the roadside for the last 5 years. I've been parking, nothing has ever happened to me. Why should I care about what you do? Now these are the things